Okay, what would you say are the top 5 reasons that get people killed in a woodland survival scenario?
Okay, some of the top reasons, some of the main reasons that people get knocked off or end up not surviving a woodland terrain scenario is that you gotta get your priorities straight. Well, number one, which should be water. If you are unfortunate enough to find yourself stranded or injured or somewhere in a woodland terrain type environment, your first priority should be finding water. That's one of the first things you need to think about because the human body can only survive 3 days, 3 days without water. And then that's going to lead into not only finding water, finding drinkable water, because you don't want the irony of finding water after God knows how long, and then the water that you struggle to find ends up killing you.
Right.
That'd be very ironic. So.
Right. And while it's one of the most important things, it's probably one of the easiest to find in a woodland environment.
Exactly.
Because if there's lots of trees, then there should be water sources.
Exactly. That's one of the woodland environment is the easiest to survive in and for that reason that water is so plentiful. So remember, water first. In fact, water is probably the most important.
Right.
Next up, food. Okay, and I gotta say this: don't become food while you're out there. Don't become food while you're out there. Woodland environments are again the easy. One of the reasons that woodland environments are so easy to survive in is because of the abundance of food out there, both animal, plant life. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Be careful because you gotta know what to eat or how to catch it. But food should be the next priority. Usually, you got about 3 weeks. God forbid you're out there that long.
Right.
Hopefully you can walk out before you starve to death.
Right. And one small animal, you catch one rabbit, you can really stretch that out a long time.
Exactly. Well, I did read also when I was researching this that you got to get that fat too.
Yeah.
Because you can't live on squirrel alone. You got to find a fat one. But you need fat too.
Right.
But again, one rabbit, if you know what you're doing, can go a long way. But food again is like second on the list after water.
Right.
Also, shelter. Let's don't leave that out.
The shelter actually might be more important than food. Almost, you could argue.
Yes, exactly. Because when you get shelter, you're protecting yourself from the elements.
Right.
Because any kind of extreme of heat or cold can knock you off real quick. So shelter probably comes in ahead of food. You're right.
And also staying dry is an important reason.
Exactly. If you're cold and wet, if you're cold and dry, you're okay. But if you're cold and wet, you're a dead man.
Right.
So that puts us at number 4, which is predators, which will, again, predators, both human and otherwise.
They come 2 and 4-legged.
2 and 4-legged.
Right.
A lot of people don't like thinking about that. I think we like to feel like if we're in some desperate straits and we're out somewhere and somebody comes across us, that they'll be out there to help us. Hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully.
Could be the opposite.
In this world, you just don't know. You just don't know. Let's hope for the best. But as far as the 4-legged type,
right.
the 4-legged ones, large animals can be very deadly. And I think a common mistake people make
underestimating them.
Exactly. In fact, the reading I've done, if any animal that's bigger than you, or that you can't handle or kill, you need to stay away from. Example, bear. If you come across a black or grizzly bear, number one, don't run.
Yep.
Don't run. Back away slowly. Do not run. Also, you might want to make for any kind of thick brush, difficult terrain, because bears, believe it or not, they may be big, but they're not necessarily brave.
Right. And also weapons is also an important part of that. If you don't have guns, which we might assume in this scenario, maybe you don't have hardly anything with you.
Your bare hands, yeah.
Then one of the best things that you can make is just go super old school and make a spear.
Oh, my, that's going way back.
But hey, if you make a really long spear, if you have some type of large animal like that anchored into the ground, it might be the best chance you have. It could also fall on you and crush you and kill you. But
hey, 50-50, go for it.
Right.
Okay, but again, large animals can be a danger. And we have to always remember that. And I think a lot of people in certain parts of the country are mauled and killed. In fact, I believe the late Steve Irwin, he said he made a quote I didn't forget. He said that if you're attacked by an animal, it's because you put yourself in the position to be attacked. Yep. Usually here in the continental United States, you're between that large animal and their young. and they'll do what it takes to protect them.
Right.
That's what gets people attacked. The other way is that these animals are starving. Like that's real big out west with mountain lion. Usually they're starving, they're desperate, and here you come. Hey, beat on the table for them.
Yep.
And we tend to underestimate animals too, especially like mountain lions. We see them as large cats. Well, they are large and they are cats, but they're not house cats.
Right. Yeah. A much bigger version.
And if you're not a cat person, that makes it even more terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you don't like cats in the first place, and one kills you. Yes.
Right.
But last but not least, is something you have to absolutely be aware of is illness. It's important that you do something. If you're unfortunate enough to find yourself in a survival situation, you always have to watch out for illness,
right?
Because more than likely, whatever put you in that situation, you're probably going to be injured, or
a good chance of it.
A good chance of it. And,
or in trying to implement some of these tactics and obtaining water and shelter and food and all these things, you're putting yourself in a position to be injured or
exactly
catch an illness.
And if you take a major if you take a major injury or a major illness, you're done.
Right.
You're done. There have been people that have died within a mile of help.
Yeah.
Because they got injured, like diarrhea, the big killer, diarrhea, from getting that bad water. Diarrhea, you'll crap yourself out, literally.
Yeah.
Or break an ankle in a wooded, mountainous area. You're done.
Yep.
You're done. The buzzards will be deciding which shoe they're going to wear.
Right.
But
poisonous vegetation.
Exactly. Which leads to another point that I guess we'll talk about later, which is if you can't identify what you're eating, don't touch it.
Right.
Do not touch it.
What was that you said about what's the number one killer? One of the number one killers in the woods.
Yeah, mushrooms. Mushrooms.
Yeah.
There is a thin line between mushroom that is nourishment and one that's going to put you in the ground.
Well, there's three different types of mushrooms.
What are they?
There's three main types of mushrooms. There's the ones that you can eat, the ones that kill you, and the ones that give you the secrets to the universe. And they all look the same.
So it's a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Hey, death or hey, ecstasy. Which go for it, man. So in closing, remember that the things that are going to put you in the ground or the lack of these things that will kill you in a survival situation that you find yourself unfortunate enough to be in. Water, again, lack of it or too much of it. Food, finding it, and also finding stuff that won't kill, edible.
Right.
Shelter, which can, again, protect you from extremes of temperature. Also predators, 2- and 4-legged. Be careful out there. And also illness or injury.
Right.
Which I got to think illness or injury has got to be up top too, because that's just any slight little injury.
Right.
It's going to escalate. The longer you're out there, the worse it's going to get. Hey, stay alert, stay alive, people.
Right. And with food, just because it looks edible doesn't necessarily mean that it is.
Exactly. Famous last words.
Yeah.
It looked okay.
Right, exactly. And what was that you told me earlier? You said if you don't know exactly what it is, stay away from it.
Exactly. If you have any doubt in your mind what something is that you're going to eat, leave it alone. Now, I've heard some of the survival schools I've been to, they say if you see animals eating it, it's probably okay. But at the same time,
it may not be.
It may not be. Don't bank on that.
Right.
Again, any doubt, it's better to go hungry than to eat this and get sick or let it poison you.
And know your limitations without being afraid to do what you know has to be done.
Exactly.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this little episode, and we'll talk to you later. This podcast minisode has been brought to you by Sonoran Desert Institute School of Firearms Technology. They are an online accredited gunsmithing college, and you can check them out at sdi.edu.